My papa was 89 years old, and he lived here his entire life. And he owned this land, and this land was his, but he didn't own the mineral rights because years ago the mineral rights were sold for really cheap prices. And so the coal companies could come in here legally and destroy his land so that they could get the coal. And he fought all of his life because he didn't want to see his property destroyed. And I think it's really sad that they can come in here and tear up and do whatever they want to his property to get what they want for money, because it's almost like you're saying their culture isn't as valuable as what's underneath them. We've mined coal so much and we're still in this shape. What makes us think that increasing coal is going to make it any better?
I believe CTL would pay for itself by insulating the United States of America from supply shocks and providing the security and domestic fuels that we need for our military, businesses like airlines and trucking, and the average American car.
Where I live in Appalachia, the government wants to subsidize plants to turn coal into a liquid fuel. The plants would feed this country's need for energy. A lot of people are worried they will just further threaten coal communities like mine.
It's just so enormous that you can't even get there. You know, if you start trying to add up like all the agencies that deal with it, you know, and all the externalized costs around coal, it's impossible. So I thought the true cost of coal was the price that people pay every day in their lives.
Look out on the meadow, watch the grasses roll. Look up on the mountain, hush my restless soul. I sit here in this valley, I watch the seasons fly. My life's unwinding slowly, and ghosts come rushing by.
They know these men have no choice but to you know, if that's to make a decent living around here, unless you leave or go to school for something, then you end up having to leave anyway. They know that's all there is here, and they know these men need jobs.
It is sad that they just, you know, kind of throw those people away, you know, like they're not important. Like I told Judge Deskins, he cared more about the coal company than he did the people, and it's the truth, you know. I guess that coal severance tax and that coal money is a lot more important than the people.
The company, if they don't do what they're told, that they'll be sent home. And they have a family. You know, they don't have a choice. They have a family they have to raise. And you know, a lot of these men may not like it, but they know either they're going to have to do what they're told or lose their job. And these men are threatened.
There was a mountain that's behind us that was once owned by my husband's family, but distant relatives sold it, and the coal company has pretty much removed most of the top of the mountain.
There's a lot of homes right now in Pike County, Kentucky, where people have to haul buckets of water to their house. In America, in the year 2007, it's crazy. And that's because of coal mining.
We can't even get decent water where I live. We have well water that's been contaminated. So, I mean, it had like more than 100 times that they allowed to have arsenic in it. So, like, for 3 years, I bathed my daughter in water that had high levels of arsenic in it. And I bathed in it, and my husband bathed in it.
Well, first time I went inside of a mine, I was on a belt. I rode in on a belt at U.S. Steel. And I thought, oh, Lord, this is so low. And you have to lay on that belt and you can't raise up. It is scary. But it's in total darkness, tight space, and very loud noise. If you hear it cracking, you know it's giving. You know the top's giving. Something's breaking loose. Get out of the way until you can get a crew in there to set supports under it, more supports. Production's down. The guys outside, the top officials are getting antsy.
There was a crack in the roof, and Russell was told, and the superintendent was told, and they just told him to disregard it. It's not important, keep mining. He went to work that Wednesday. He was working second shift, and around 11 o'clock, there was a knock on my door, and my cousin's daughter come there and was telling me that there was 2 men outside. So I went outside, and 2 of the men who have been friends of the family for years but worked up there were out on my porch, and they asked me to come outside, and they said there had been a roof fall and that there was 2 guys unaccounted for. One was my husband.
The early glow at sunrise, it stirs me from my sleep. Come evening, it's still with me. This pain I'll always keep. I see the raven flying, I hear him call to me. Your presence in his spirit speaks mournfully to me.
I prayed, Lord, please let them find him, because, you know, there was that slim chance. The other boy that got killed, he was found like 4 or 5 hours after the accident happened. They found him. My husband, like I said, from Wednesday to Sunday mornings when they finally found him. And, you know, there's some things that happen that even my children don't know when they were trying to find him, that I wouldn't tell my kids because it would just be worse on them. But, you know, we had a funeral, closed casket. And, you know, anybody has to go through a funeral with a closed casket, there's no closure. Never. All they care about is the money. That was pretty much shown when my husband got killed. It's all about the money. These men are just a number to them. The men that worked with Russell, they didn't want to go. They didn't want to go home. They wanted to stay there till they found him. But yeah, not at the section that Russell got killed, but the other sections, yes, they kept mining. The coal trucks kept running. One of the man over one of the coal truck companies, you know, the boss, he did shut down for a day. He told him, he said, I'm not running. But they told him, said, you run or you lose your job.
So, Senator, we appreciate you taking your time to come, and we appreciate the battle that you're fighting for the people of Kentucky and future generations. This will be the greatest thing that ever happened for our country to solve this problem. And it'll be the greatest thing that's ever happened to my children and grandchildren and all of yours.
I think that the public is being told that we have to have this coal to liquid process to bring down the prices at the gas pump. Everybody's so concerned right now because gas is $3 a gallon, and that's a real hardship on a lot of people. And they want answers from our politicians in Washington. And so when someone offers coal to liquid as a possible solution, people think, oh great, gas prices will be coming down now that we have coal to liquid. And that's not going to happen.
It's not a long-term solution. When the coal's gone, so will the money. And they're not that great to the people. They don't take care of their workers. And so if they increase it, then it's going to increase more bad conditions for miners, and that's not anything we need here.
That's for sure.
Liquid coal will make us poor.
And our grandkids, that's for sure.
Liquid coal will make us poor.
And our grandkids, that's for sure.
In the last few weeks, the environmental folks and rhetoric has been very strong against coal to liquid fuels. Unfortunately, it has been repeated by too many people without really checking the facts. The picture opponents paint of coal is far from the truth about our fight for energy independence.
one of the things we've done in Kentucky is exposing the big lie, especially when the coal industry says that coal is good for Kentucky and it's good for the economy. I grew up in Harlan County. Over 1 billion tons of coal has been mined in that county, but yet over 30% of the people live in poverty. You know, the economic indicators in all the coal-producing counties are so much lower than other counties within the state. So if coal was going to bring prosperity to Kentucky, don't you think in the past 100 years it would have done it by now?
We called in and we called our legislators and told them that it was ridiculous and that our tax money shouldn't be going towards this. We don't want it. You know, if they can't get private investors to invest in it, why should we take our money, hard-earned money? You know, I work my butt off, and, you know, a lot of people work their butt off for their money. Everybody works their butts off. You know, I'd like to think that for the money that they make and for it to go towards something that isn't going to be good for people. I don't, you know, the emissions is higher, and, you know, the carbon emissions is higher. It's not, it's ridiculous.
If these coal-to-liquid plants are built, we can kiss the mountains of eastern Kentucky goodbye. If we have coal-to-liquid, they will destroy all of the coal areas of eastern Kentucky. We're talking about a huge area of land.
And I think that people don't realize where their coal's coming from or where their electricity's coming from, you know. And I hope that maybe getting the word out there to people, letting people know that people's lives are being affected by it, you know, that there's children that have to grow up there, that there's, and that we shouldn't have to leave where we are from, you know. Everybody's like, why don't you just sell out? Well, you know, my husband's family was there before they started doing that stuff, you know. It's about pride and heritage.
I think that people need to stop treating Appalachia as America's energy sacrifice zone, and we need to start protecting Appalachian communities.
I think there are a lot of stories around here about people who have sacrificed and given up loved ones, their homes, their land, everything they've had for the coal companies. And I think if you increase coal mining, then there will be a lot more stories like that.
I can discern men's fortunes and past illusions see. I know the ways of nature. No man need care for me, but I still feel your heartbeat. I can feel your life's blood flow, and in the aching darkness, I hear you breathing low. Look out on the meadow, watch the grasses roll. Look up on the mountain, hush my restless soul.